Believing the party switch never happened is almost as dumb as believing the Garden of Eden was in Missouri. Like, have you been to Missouri? No sane person has ever called that paradise. But without fail, every time I mention the party switch as a point of historical fact, I get somebody who thinks that Crayola and Elmer's glue belong on the food pyramid, commenting to tell me that the party switch never happened. Then when I inform these people that their obnoxiously willful ignorance over easily verifiable facts is genuinely painful to the rest of us who live in, reality, I get people like this who apparently have never seen my content but think it's a great idea to call me ignorant for making unsubstantiated claims, something y'all know I do all the time. And as absolutely adorable as it is to see somebody who probably didn't wash the popcorn residue out of the bowl before moving forward with the frugal choice of cutting their own hair try to insult me by calling me a little boy who should go home to his mommy right after calling me very mature in the exact same comment. Very, V-A-R-Y, as in results from your Alex Jones health supplements will vary. The idiocy still needs to stop because it's so dumb. These are the same people who will follow up the argument of Democrats were the party of slavery with high-pitched wailing about the Confederacy's participation trophies being taken away because we're erasing their heritage. It's not stars and bars waving Klansmen out here screaming heritage, not hate, while they make school kids learn about the positive aspects of slavery voting for Biden. It's not even something that needs to be Googled. The party switch is such a painfully obvious part of U.S. history that anytime somebody says the party switch never happened out loud, I'm pretty sure everybody in earshot's IQ points drop by a measurable percentage. But hey, I was accused of making an unsubstantiated claim, so let's fucking substantiate it. The century following the Civil War, Dixie voted Democrat almost exclusively in every election. It was so bad, there was genuinely no Republican challengers in any down ballot race in southern states almost at all through that entire century. The only elections that mattered were primaries, where Democrats ran against Democrats to see who was going to be handed the seat. And through that century, the South voted more reliably Democrat in presidential elections than literally any other region in the entire country. But as Northern Democrats started abandoning racism as a party platform between the 1940s and 1968, Southern Democrats got all butthurt about it and started stomping their feet and trying to change things. They came up with their own party that didn't work out, and then they started voting for Republicans a little more often in presidential elections, but still voting Southern Democrats all down the down ballot stuff. And in 1960, when JFK, a Northern Democratic senator who had voted to support civil rights, got elected president, Southern Democrats started switching parties. People like Ronald Reagan in 1962 and Strom Thurmond in 1964. And then LBJ, a staunch Southern Democrat, signed the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and 1968. And immediately after that, every single Southern state that had been solidly Democrat for a century voted for Republican Richard Nixon in the 1968 presidential election. Well, with the exception of Texas, they switched to the next election. It's not like they were playing musical chairs and all the Democrats suddenly moved. All the same people who had been living there and voting there the whole time just voted differently. That's a switch. But if that doesn't substantiate it enough for you, how about this? Between 1960 and 1980, over 45 people who would serve in state and federal public offices switched their party designation from Democrat to Republican. And of those 45, 40 of them were all from those solidly blue southern states. And 2 of those remaining 5 that weren't from southern states, one of them was from California, known as Ronald Reagan, and another was from Indiana, known as Mike Pence. 2 standard bearers, 2 beacons of the Republican Party switched from Democrat to Republican. But yeah, the party switch never happened. But let's take it a little further. During the same time, 23 Republicans switched parties to Democrats as well. 21 of them all from northern states. One of them was Hillary Clinton. Now, being on a bit more of the progressive side, I would argue that Hillary Clinton today is more of a Republican than Mike Pence is a Democrat, but you all seem to act like Hillary Clinton is the liberal fucking Antichrist. Now, the Simone-level mental gymnastics required to look at the information that states that had been voting reliably Democrat for over a century all switched at the same time over a 4-year period to voting reliably Republican, and numerous ranking political figures and elected officials all switched their party affiliation at the same time, and then continuously with a straight face remind everybody that Democrats were the party of slavery, while Republicans are exclusively the party trying to maintain their heritage of the Confederacy. It is genuinely podium worthy. And sadly, I'm fairly confident that no amount of logic or rationale or crayons and computer paper can effectively separate people who believe that from their delusions. But if y'all are going to keep up the charade that the party switch never happened, then y'all need to claim Hillary Clinton, because she's all yours. And y'all need to stop pleasuring yourself to imagery and thoughts of Ronald Reagan, because he's not yours. Not that we want that train wreck of a governor and president. Sorry excuse for a human being back, because we don't. But no one will complain if you all shut the fuck up about this imaginary character of Ronald Reagan that you all have delusionally created. Anyway, I hope that was mature enough for you there, big boy, because I know sometimes my maturity level can vary.